Hello, football fans. What an amazing, crazy week 14 it was. First things first, let's get the congratulations out of the way. Many congratulations to the Chiefs and the Saints, who both clinched playoff spots. The Saints won the NFC South by defeating Tampa Bay to rematch of week 1, and Kansas City got a big overtime victory over the Ravens. So they're in the playoffs. First spot clinched the AFC. Speaking of the NFC, the Packers' playoff chances have been resurrected. Hallelujah! The Packers won big against Atlanta, and four teams who are ahead of us in the wild card race, they all lost. They all lost. Um, Carolina lost to Cleveland, and that was their fifth straight loss. They are free falling. Um, Washington got destroyed at home by the Giants, and later on, Philly lost to Dallas again in an overtime thriller. And and on Monday night to end the week, Minnesota lost to Seattle. And now you got the Packers one game behind Minnesota at 6-6-1. They're 6-6-1. We're 5-7-1, and you got three 6-7 teams in between all that. But the greatest thing that happened in week 14 was the miracle in Miami. And the lateral play in the final seconds that gave Miami victory over the Patriots. It was the greatest thing ever because, as we all know, every time the Patriots lose, an angel gets his wings. And as a devout Patriots hater, I have to say, Pittsburgh, what the hell are you doing? How in the hell could you lose to Oakland? Are you trying to mess things up? I mean, I mean, it's ridiculous. They are free falling. They are free falling too, and it's very bad because they have a terrible schedule ahead of them. They have New England next, which is in Pittsburgh, but still it's New England. But they got to go to New Orleans, and their only easy game left is their last game of the season against Cincinnati. But who knows if Pittsburgh will be alive entering that week? Meanwhile, Baltimore has a cushy schedule. They have Tampa Bay on Sunday, so Pittsburgh needs to get their shit together. They really do. Otherwise, there'll be more drama, more than it already is. And speaking of the playoffs, the Jaguars got eliminated. The AFC runners-up from last year. They got too big for their britches. They got arrogant. They were beating their chests. Oh, they were beating their chests um, when they got this close to Super Bowl, and they beat them again when they beat the Patriots in Week 2. But ever since then, plummet. It's ridiculous. And like I said, Pittsburgh themselves they're in danger of missing the playoffs for the first time since 2013. But here's who could get in. There are a whole bunch of teams that can get into the playoffs. There are at least six. There are about six spots that could be clinched in Week 15 alone. First things first. Let's start the AFC. The Chiefs. Now the Chiefs kick off Week 15 with a home game against the Chargers, and their scenario was simple. If they beat the Chargers, they win the division and get a bye. If they win and the Patriots fail to win, a loss or a tie, then they'll get the overall number one seed. The road through the AFC will go through Mahomes and company. Um, as for New England, again, they're in Pittsburgh. If they win and Tennessee loses or ties, they're in the playoffs. A win and the Dolphins loss or tie will give them the AFC East yet again. Now, Houston, they can get. There's 8 different scenarios for Houston getting the playoffs, but 3 of them involve ties. Six of them involve ties. But the main thing is the division. The easier thing is the division. They win, and the Colts and Titans do not win. Then the Texans win the division. The Texans will be in the Meadowlands facing the Jets. That's on Saturday. I mentioned the Chargers and the Chiefs. The Chargers get in the playoffs. There's a whole bunch of scenarios, but the number one is the easier one. All they have to do is win or tie. Win or tie, they're in the playoffs. So that's the AFC. And the NFC, the Saints are in Carolina. That's a Monday game, and the Saints are winning the division, which means the Panthers need to get that wild card. Otherwise, they're screwed. Um, they get a first round bye with a win, or the Bears lose or tie, and we'll be glad to help you with that because we are the Bears' next opponents, and we'll definitely help LA out because the Rams win, and the Bears lose or tie, then the Rams get a bye. The Rams lost to the Bears on Sunday Night Football. So this will be interesting. And speaking of the Bears can ugh, win the division. The Bears can win the division. All they have to do is win, which they won't do because they're playing the Packers and Rodgers owns them. Rodgers owns the Bears. Or the Vikings could lose, which could happen. The Vikings are at home, but they face a Miami team who just beat New England. Or if both Minnesota and Chicago tie in their games, then the Bears win. Then the Bears win the division. But the Bears tie anyway. They're in the playoffs, or they're in the playoffs if Washington doesn't win. And speaking of the NFC East and the NFC East teams, Dallas has a stranglehold in the division now. All they have to do to win the division is win in Indy. They face the Colts. If they tie, Philly and Washington cannot win. Loss or a tie for both teams, either way. And if the Eagles and Washington both lose, Cowboys win the division regardless of how they do in their game, win, lose, or draw. And the Eagles are in LA. Oh, the Eagles are in LA, and Washington faces faces Jacksonville. And Seattle has an easy scenario. Their win on Monday night brought them closer to the playoffs. And they're in the Bay Area facing the Niners. And it's very simple. All they have to do to get in the playoffs is win. That's all. Just beat the Niners. So those are scenarios. Those are scenarios. And like I said, there's a lot of key games. For Week 15. We're in Chicago facing the Bears. Miami, Minnesota face each other. Dallas is in Indy. I've said all these games before. Three teams in the NFC can clinch, leaving one spot left in the final 2 weeks. Three teams in the AFC can clinch, leaving 2 spots left in the AFC. And the AFC North remains the close race. And Pittsburgh better nail that. Otherwise, hell will break loose in the Steel City. So, that's my brief review of Week 14. Those are scenarios for Week 15. I am looking forward to Week 15. I want Thursday to get here so this madness can commence. And I'll be back to review Week 15 and congratulate any teams who get in. So, until next week.